Mooney is a great journalist, well, at least a good journalist, maybe great. And he calls out, it's all that Bush administration, because the updated version was published in 2006. And I said that, you know, if you just substituted Trump and Trump's wildly unqualified appointees in here, you would have a telling.
Talk about a war on science.
Yeah. A telling diatribe against Trump. And so, you know, it's not as outdated as you might think from the date of publication. Mooney sees a lot of things that they're doing wrong. And I think the biggest one is that they are divorced from reality.
Sure.
It doesn't make it, you know, and he even quotes somebody from the Bush administration as saying, we make our own reality.
Right.
I read that. Which is, yeah, I mean, they do make their own reality. You know, and the spokesman saying, you know, well, we have alternative facts, is a perfect example. Okay, now, let me quote somebody who's got more smarts than anybody in the Trump administration. The university doesn't care what your opinions are. And in an email to somebody recently, I said that, you know, the universe doesn't care what your opinions are. If you think you can fly and you jump off a tall building to demonstrate this, you better have a parachute as a backup. But anyway, Mooney calls out that the first thing that he calls out is, hey, Republicans are willing to lie, just flat out, flagrantly lie. And our president is possibly the best example of this in today's administration. But you know, he's got plenty of competition. You know, like Pruitt with the EPA. Well, the science on climate change is unsettled. Yeah. You know, if you're delusional, it's unsettled. No doubt about that. Okay, so their philosophy, the conservative philosophy, in most cases, conflicts with science. Because to the conservatives, their philosophy, that's what counts. You know, facts, no, we're not going to acknowledge facts unless it supports our philosophy. Okay, now, they make up their own facts. Well, which I guess you could say is another form of lying. I hate to get back to that every time. So conservative philosophy, you know, I'm not really an expert on conservative philosophy, but it seems, you know, in part it's based on religion. I don't think there's such a thing as a conservative atheist.
I understand.
Oh.
I'm sure.
The astonishing thing is the degree to which the religious right has taken over the Republican agenda. The world is only a few thousand years old. Evolution is just a theory, not a good one at that. Everybody knows that it all started with Adam a few thousand years ago. Abortion causes breast cancer. And on and on and on about things that have no basis in science. In fact, like evolution. Next to physics, the laws of physics, evolution is the backbone of modern science. If you deny evolution, you are in effect saying, science is just a hoax, and we don't believe in science. And science is, the rational viewpoint is, science is a very important, maybe the most important thing in making policy. That's not the conservative, that's not the Republican viewpoint. The viewpoint, their viewpoint is our opinion is what's important in making policy, and if science contradicts it, then we have to discard science. And that's what they do. Okay, so I mentioned the religious right. Okay, so there are really two things that power the Republican Party. And he makes the point that the Republicans used to be reasonable people. I can remember voting for Eisenhower. But the Republicans are now fringe. They're fringe in everything except numbers. They've drawn so far out to the right that they're really now on the fringe of modern society. And the real problem is they don't give a damn. They know they're on the fringe. And they glory in it. Okay, so the other thing besides the religious right is corporation. If it don't make a profit, get rid of it. Get rid of the EPA. Pruitt has been actually very truthful. I want to get rid of the EPA, which was created by a Republican president, Nixon. And by the way, Bush and Trump are making Nixon look better and better. There was a cartoon in the newspaper of these two guys who are sitting there in the TV and one guy says, I think Trump is a conspiracy to make George W. Bush look better. And he's doing it.
He's looking at Bush's ear.
But anyway, so religious extremism plus extremism, because the Catholic Church, for all its faults and foibles, is not on Trump's side. All you have to do is see what the Pope has said about, the climate change, and there's a picture of Trump with the Pope, and the Pope is looking very, very unhappy that somebody would actually take his picture with that clown. But corporate, the corporate welfare is the other, leg of the two-legged stool that the Republicans perch on. So what are they doing? Well, number one, it's not enough to just deny the science. They're hijacking the science. They're trying to appropriate the science. And the prime example that he gives is creation, quotes, science. And intelligent design. And there's a judicial opinion that you should read sometime. There was a lawsuit brought against the school board that tried to make intelligent design the centerpiece of instruction in their school system, biological instruction. And the judge just excoriates them. He said, these people are dishonest. And, he just excoriated them. You ought to read that opinion sometime. Anyway, when they can't appropriate the science, twist the science around for their purposes, then it's suppress. The climate change has got to disappear from the website of the EPA because Pruitt doesn't believe climate change is occurring, and if you ever put the thumb screws to him and guided him to admit that climate change he would not admit that humans are doing it. But recently they did release a report that had been vetted by the National Academy of Science that said there's no doubt climate change is occurring, and there's no doubt that humans are responsible for it.
It's amazing that Trump has not opposed that report, apparently. He let it be published at least.
It's a good point. I wondered that myself.
It probably happened without them being aware of that report being in the process.
My
It's the result of
guess,
so many in the administration being unable to read.
Exactly, I think that's.
It was too long, it was
It's
too much trouble.
Exactly.
So they didn't bother, just another bureaucratic report.
my guess is that he was so busy tweeting about NFL players that he missed that.
Yeah, I think that's my only explanation, that they just missed it,
Well,
because.
you all right now talking about that report that came out about 2 days.
That's about climate.
And what astonished me was, it was written, wasn't it, by agency heads. We still have scientists in the government who know science and will speak up. And so I thought that made it the most impressive.
We'll see how that goes a year or two from now.
Yeah.
It
If they're
could
still
be.
there, you mean.
Another thing is that they're probably thinking that the base that they are actually pandering to is not going to be listening. Right, they're not reading that.
Let's say, Joe Sixpack doesn't give a damn about the National Academy of Sciences.
Well, I wondered if it was a way for them to have an out, because it was a very, very, very well-written report by those who know. And if it was allowed to come out, then maybe if they needed an out eventually, they can go back to that and say, well, you see, we let that come out.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
contributing
Although
to
there's, there's plenty of examples in here of
They're not smart enough to.
of them giving pushback to perfectly sound science.
But
So, who knows?
But he wants to censor, he doesn't want any of the scientists that have received grants from the government to
Right.
be able to make presentations about climate change. However, if you've received grants from a corporation,
Yes,
he's not
right.
banning them from.
Oh, well, and that's one of the points that Mooney makes in the book, is that the guys, idiots like Inhofe over in Oklahoma, will invite these corporate shills to testify. And there's nothing said about where their support comes from. They're perfectly representative of science. They're perfectly good scientists. That are supported by Exxon Corporation or so forth. Not that, sometimes corporate scientists, the corporate scientists at Exxon Mobil warned them decades ago that climate change is on the way, it's occurring now, and humans are responsible, and it's going to have a big impact on your business plan. And they just, they're all lawyers and business school graduates, and they just ignored that. And now the Attorney General in New York is working towards an indictment of ExxonMobil for suppressing facts. And let's.
And having just escaped from Oklahoma after 20 years, thank God for Northwest Arkansas. Unfortunately, Inhofe and Pruitt aren't at the end. Now Bridenstine's been appointed to head of NASA, another congressman from, and he's the climate change denier, and NASA's one of the ones that does research on climate change.
I know. And they want NASA to get out of that business.
Yeah, they've already got funding there.
Yeah, disregarding the fact that a lot of the data comes from NASA satellites. I guess they want them to turn off the satellites too, so there's no more data.
You might not have heard about the appointment of the head of the White House Council on Environmental Quality. Helen White, her name is White, and she's a climate denier, climate change denier. The CEQ, the Council on Environmental Quality, the White House Council on Environmental Quality.
And they're getting a guy from Arkansas, from the Department of Environmental Quality, that allowed the hog farm to be built in the Buffalo National River to go up to Washington to burnish their science credentials.
It's right down the list.
I cut out that article from the paper. I was hoping that someone here today might know about that man. It just was astonishing that he's been there, and I never heard of him before, but he's selected by the president to have this high office.
Well, had I been the governor of Arkansas, that's really far-fetched, and they approved, and the hog farm sailed through under the radar, under them, I would have fired everybody in that agency. And I would have just cleaned house, 100%.
Department of Environmental Quality.
Yeah, right. I would have, but anyway, that's me. So if they can't suppress it, they may alter it. And there's a very famous case of where a guy who was working for the White House and ExxonMobil simultaneously, he was drawn a salary from both places. He made all kinds of changes to a report on climate change. And the report initially said climate change is going on and human beings are responsible. And he inserted climate change is not going on and humans, and if it were, humans would not be responsible. And this guy, it came out that he made those alterations, and eventually, even under the Bush White House, he had to quit. But he just went back to his regular job at ExxonMobil. And so he wasn't drawing two salaries anymore. And they rigged the process. They packed committees. And the latest is this guy who wasn't a scientist had never done science. He was a talk radio personality, and they wanted to appoint him as chief scientist for what was it, the FDA? It was some important government agency.
The big fat I don't mean to be politically correct, but he was like.
They wanted, and finally he he got so much pushback. I mean, there was just so much pushback. You know, that even probably even looked absurd to Trump. Well, that's just speculation. It's hard to say what would be absurd to Trump. He finally withdrew, and but it's so packing the committees. In Art's example of somebody who was appointed to the Committee on Environmental Quality, packing the committee with somebody who denies science. Anyway.
That's a new nominee for, by the way, the Council on Environmental Quality. This woman named White is a nominee right now, I think. She hasn't been appointed yet. Maybe there's some chance of questioning her in the Senate
Minor
or something.
chance.
And,
I mean,
somebody else's
some of the most absurd appointments have sailed right through.
At least some of this stuff should be more publicized. I don't see why it isn't. Pruitt was publicized quite a bit.
They might.
I mean, how many petitions I signed about this guy that just that walked off and said, no deal. He walked off for legal reasons because of the investigation. Oh, there were an awful lot of our guys, the good guys, a lot of groups that just threw out petitions like crazy, signing petitions, because we didn't want to, for scientific reasons.
Right.
But he left for legal
Oh,
reasons because of the investigation.
So, one of their things is magnifying uncertainty. I mean, there's always uncertainty. I mean, even if it's just measurement uncertainty. I'm a reviewer, I'm an associate editor for a journal, and I get papers, and they say, oh, we measured it with a precision of a thousandth of a millimeter. And this is a machine-operated, a human-operated machine. And I said, no, what you're talking about is accuracy. The machine can measure to an accuracy of a thousandth of a millimeter. Humans cannot do that reliably and repeatedly. Well, so there's an uncertainty, and they always emphasize the uncertainty. The problem is, it's, for instance, sea level rise. The best estimate of sea level rise is about 3 feet by 2100. The sea level rise will be in the vicinity of 3 feet by 2100. If you own coastal property, now is the time to.
It's more like a lower limit than.
Well, they say there's a lot of uncertainty about it. Well, the Republicans, there's uncertainty, it could be as low as half a foot. And there's about a 99% probability that it won't be that low, but they emphasize that. They don't emphasize that, if the ice caps collapse, which could very easily happen, it could be 10 feet. No, so they emphasize the uncertainty. And this has been a big hit with the American public. Because, anytime somebody comes out with a report, and they did it with tobacco, it was back in the 1930s, there was research that showed, without a doubt, that, smoking, tobacco smoke was unhealthy. I mean, really unhealthy, back in the 1930s. And yet, the cigarette companies said, there's uncertainty, we need to do more studies. And when the studies came in and showed the same thing, they said, there's a lot of uncertainty, we do need to do even more studies. Well, they're doing that about climate change and a lot of other things. And they rely on outliers. gin up these people like Fred Singer, who used to be a respected astrophysicist, but is now a prostitute.
He has some kind of position in the government now, doesn't he? What is
No, he
it?
doesn't have
He
a
doesn't have
position.
any position?
No, he's got a sinecure at the Heartland Institute, which
Oh.
pays him like $50,000 or $60,000 a year. Courtesy of ExxonMobil. And he's been on the wrong side of every scientific controversy. It doesn't make it, he's been on the wrong side of cigarette smoking, on secondhand smoke, air pollution, acid rain. He's been on the wrong side, and he's on the wrong side of climate change. Even though he has no credentials that would qualify him to really take a scientific position on any of those things. And they rely on people like him. And
I'd like to know how a person like
I
that-
wrote a letter to the Smithsonian, and the Smithsonian, I get a letter every once in a while, saying, well, join the Smithsonian. We do good work. And I wrote him a letter back. And I said, as long as you've got Weehawken associated with your institution, I'm not going to associate myself with you. And and Weehawken is one of those guys who testified before Congress and published some really suspect science, although he's not a climate scientist. He testified before Congress, and he was taking all kinds of money from
Yeah, I think with him
fossil
it's
fuels.
just money, but what about the first guy you mentioned, the physicist?
Fred Singer.
What Singer, what makes him be that way, I wonder? He really believes what he's saying, he's not just doing it
No.
for money.
He's an intellectual prostitute.
Yeah,
I mean, he's been proven wrong.